Subscribe if you're done being a loser. Let's go.
So what do you want from me?
I think that's the most important thing. You keep emphasizing what would you like to achieve, having that clear and set goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not about us hanging out, drinking champagne. No, I can do that in my own corner at home.
Let's get to the point.
Get to the point. What do you want?
Yeah.
And how can I help you?
I shared with you, I read your book in one night.
Yes.
I read it in the bath and I read it in bed. And it found me in a place where I needed a hug. And that's exactly what your book did for me. So I want to ask, when you wrote the book, what was your intention? What were you hoping to achieve?
So when I wrote Baked in Pain, in fact, I started writing Baked in Pain some 10 years before I published it.
Really? Did you know you were writing that, or were you just journaling your thoughts?
Now, I was intent about documenting my history.
Okay.
And I think that was the intent right up front, was document my history. I think as I grew in my journey and as I started to experience, a bit more of the sunny skies, the more there's dark clouds started to, just drift away. The more I worked towards a certain thing, the more I started saying to myself, there are so many people who have come from my circumstances, who have suffered severe abuse, who have suffered atrocities in the hands of people who were supposed to care for them, in the hands of their own mothers, their own fathers, you name it, who have unfortunately not been able to rise above that, who have let those circumstances hold them back, who live in the past and never fully realize their potential because they are so trapped in the pain. And for me, it was a matter of, I'm going to have to tell my story one way or the other. Yeah. And when I started writing, nothing was coming because I was still going
in the dark
through
space.
It.
Yeah, you weren't ready.
I wasn't ready.
Still bleeding.
So I think in 10 years, I must have written like 3 pages, a couple of paragraphs, and then I'll try, and it just wasn't coming. But when I eventually sat down in 2016 and started, in fact, 2017, I was already like in full-on writing mode, and I published in 2018 because the story was, I was comfortable with it. Yeah. I was comfortable that, it's authentic.
Yeah.
And I have to find a synonym for authentic. I need to find my dictionary, but because it's so overused. But the truth of the matter is that it was honest. Because if I was going to be trying, or at least remotely thinking, I want to help another person who's in a dark place, the last thing I wanted to do was to tell a story that was not my story. Yeah. But also, I had to. I was a mom now. I had a husband, and also when you're gonna put things like that out there,
you have to think about all the other people that are involved, because it's not just you now. It's not just your story. Yeah.
But I was very clear that God called me for a certain purpose, and I was going to tell my story, and I was willing to lose it all.
You write in your book that that's the only thing you held on to, God. Yeah. And I can't imagine holding on to God, being beaten while being beaten for going to church, and you're young. You don't have the knowledge, the understanding. Do you feel like you were chosen, or like God specifically said, I want Amanda to go through this so that she can be the story? How did you reconcile? How did you find comfort in God where you were punished for having a relationship with God?
I think it's not something that immediately jumps at you. Yeah. So you can't say, I personally can't say, God chose me to go through this pain, therefore. Right? Okay. I really believe that I went through what I went through because that's just life. Yeah. Sometimes you just dealt a card that's not necessarily your card, but it is then, what do you do about that? And what is that one thing you hold on to? So in a sense, it's probably something I will never be able to answer fully. Okay. But what I can tell you is that, by the way, I will never be able to answer it fully because I've constantly wondered about it. I've
okay.
constantly wondered which came first, the chicken or the egg. So for me, it's about the fact that when I was as young as I was, I found that my spirituality and this belief that God exists was the one thing that I could hold on to. So it's not I came out of the hard times then found God. No. I found
that's
God
all you
in
had.
the middle of the hard time, because that's all I had.
Yeah.
And I find that, faith does drive hope.
Yeah.
And a lot of people and a lot of young people who've gone through what they've gone through, what I've gone through, there's a lot of I just think if you don't have faith, if you have nothing to hold on to, you either tend to substances, to abuse and numb that pain.
I think God put eternity in us, or a longing for something that as a human being you can never fill. So it's either you go to God to fill the void, or you go to substance to, or you continuously seek it in other people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And some people have all of the bad ways of handling that trauma.
Yeah.
I was just incredibly fortunate that I made the decision to go otherwise.
Sure.
I made the decision to not run to substance, to not run to alcohol, to not run to prostitution. Because when you've suffered not just physical or emotional abuse or that psychological breakdown, when you've suffered that sexual abuse where it's your entire sense of worth is determined by somebody else, when you've suffered neglect and abandonment from your very primary. I mean, today is my twins' birthday. They're turning 14 today.
Happy birthday, girls!
So I always say, I don't celebrate. I don't just celebrate that it's my children's birthday. I celebrate that I've been here.
Yeah.
Every single moment of their lives,
you chose them. You chose to stay. Yeah.
Right? So I think that as a child, when the people who could have protected you were not there to protect you, it does build up a sense of it's just me against the world. And I think I grew to lean closer to God, because it's a very lonely place to just as a child be navigating that it's me against the world, and navigating it alone.
Do you ever get angry at God, and respectfully so, like sit down and say, God, I know we've passed it, I know I'm in a better place, but I just don't get it. And how does your personal relationship with God look like? Because I'm part of the reason why I'm so excited or drawn to starting conversations is because I want us to move from seeing God, religion, spirituality as just this thing that happens at church, but I want to get to the core of the relationship where just like you, people don't have to turn to other things but can turn to God, because there's just honesty and there's truth in that.
I have never been angry at God.
Wow.
I have never asked God, why me?
Wow.
I have never questioned, how could you let this happen to me?
Sure.
Let me say why I've never done that. First of all, I've never felt the need for it, because in a way, it feels like for me, God was my saving grace.
Okay.
So for me, God saved me from
I guess why you say you can never fully explain because it just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Right?
Yeah.
And often when I sit and reflect back on my journey, I'm just like, a lot of people will send me messages and write me all these touching letters about what my story has done for them, but their question is always, but how did you do it? And I can tell you all the hows. I can tell you the decisions I've made. I can tell you the things I've done. I can tell you about going to psychologists. I can tell you about seeing priests. I can tell you all about that. But that's not the how.
That's not
the
it.
how is my faith. And I really believe that God resides inside of me. And my
That's
relationship with God is so deep and spiritual. There's no go between. That's why, you speak about church and things like that. I go to church because I just want to go and worship with other people. It's
That's
not my
it.
connection to God.
Oh, I love what you said. And that's exactly what Paul says. Don't neglect going and meeting with other people. It's not about going to deepen your relationship there. That's in our own time. Church is about with other people.
And I mean, if you think about the people, because we are all human beings, and unfortunately, and I to be honest, this was triggered by what happened with me and my own spiritual leader when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I write about that in Baked in Pain. And we put.
I actually want you to share the story.
Yeah. They must still buy the book.
Okay, sorry.
no, but I'm quite happy to. I mean, at that young an age, I had found my role in the church. I had found my spirituality. I was quite active, and I had a spiritual leader, and she was literally my guide. You know, and I was young though, man. I think I must have been like 10. And one day I was sitting at home and I was just in my shorts, believe me, this shorts thing didn't start now.
It's your thing, girl.
My thing. And then she came and she was going past our house and, she called me out and I went to her and she looked at me with such disgust. And she's like, a child of God doesn't wear short things like that.
Sure.
And in that moment, I just knew that no, man, there's something not right about that.
The same God.
But how easy is it for spiritual leaders or even people in a position of power to brainwash you to believe what they believe?
Oh, man.
Because ultimately, our relationship with God is between us